6,000, 8,000, 10,000, 16,000 kilos, whatever. If someone wants to sell you a snatch strap, and on either end of that snatch strap it does not have that tag, tell them to put it where it will do the most good. Right up there, you know what. The other reason I carry them is to show people the correct and proper way to join snatch straps. Now, drag chain, you always have, a little item, cars roll over, you get them back on. When you're doing the operation, safety vests on the person operating the vehicle, safety vests on the person controlling the operation. Everybody else, shut up, get out of the way. I just recently came across a caravan rolled over. Question, you just bought a brand new four-wheel drive. What's the first accessories you put on it?
You didn't ride there?
Hello?
You wouldn't use it in the pool, so you must pay for it.
No, I failed my first exam for failing to answer this question. So it must be an important question. What is the
First aid kit.
First aid kit and a fire extinguisher. They're the first things you must put in a vehicle when you buy it or when you're going on a trip. You will notice here I have a very large first aid kit. Also buying for a company, and I used to go to South Pacific Tyres. One of the forklift drivers was an experienced woodcutter. I came in and he said, how'd you go on your course? I said, I'm qualified. He said, I'm selling a 36-inch blade chainsaw. And I said, I got a 24, I don't need a 36. I said, what do you want to sell it for? And he had bib and brace overalls on. Undid the bibs, dropped it down, and there was the scar. And I said, did you have chaps on? He said, yeah, leather ones. And I said, leather is about as good as your own skin. So, they can cost up to $400 a pair, but they are made out of Kevlar fibre, and they are made to choke the chainsaw. Nothing else. The chainsaw at a high rev may even be able to get through it and cut you a bit, but it won't kill you. I know it's a bit of extra equipment to carry in your car, but if you want to come home in one piece, you put your chaps on. Good ones. Helmet, visor, earpieces, gloves, steel cap boots. Chainsaws aren't friendly to anybody. They kick, they bite, and ask my able assistant what happened to his last two hard hats. Andy, what happened to your last two hard hats?
Oh, you're drunk?
Yeah, I can. I'll bring this over, mate. Hang on a second. Hang on. Here we go, mate. Here we go.
Yeah, Sue.
Oh,
If you put it in the water, it'll
here
float.
we go, mate.
Andy's last
Okay,
two...
where do I start?
You just leave it there.
Leave it here. All right, mate.
Andy's last two hard hats.
You want to know what happened to my two last... Yeah. Okay.
Tell them.
I'm sick and tired of buying the buggers because the last two times I wore them, the chainsaw kicked up and split them in two. I can't afford to keep buying them. So
That's fair.
my hat here is going ready to go. I got my gloves on, fingerprints and all. I got my steel cap boots. I left my steel cap boots behind.
Okay, so, steel cap boots. When you're operating a chainsaw, you may refuel it. Fire extinguisher. Next to your fueling point with your fuel. If you're doing a lot of it, and you go to refuel it, a hot exhaust, pour fuel in, well, you've got a fire. So you always make sure you've got a fire extinguisher handy. Always make sure there's a first aid kit somewhere. You should wear a safety vest, and your assistant should wear a safety vest. You always have an observer, Because if you're cutting a tree, they have branches that fall down. And in the timber trade they call them widow makers. They come down to the tree, you don't see them, and next thing you're pinned to the deck and you're as dead as a dodo.
Look at his trouble. You're going to drop the field.
A pair of gloves to protect your hands.
Have you got some duck
And the reason you have an observer is because he's watching the tree and that around you, or watching what the log's doing. I was with a friend cutting timber, and I was his observer, and I was standing off to one side, and I went up and cut him, tapped him on the shoulder and went, so he spits it off, and he said, what? And I said, the possum. He said, what possum? I said, the possum that's in the bloody hollow log that you cut. So he kicked the pole and dong, out came the possum. So he would have been dead. Now, a definite no-no with chainsaws
billion to go.
is what they call the drop start. It's the lazy man start, where you drop the chainsaw down and rip the cord. So you can see I've got no control over that chainsaw whatsoever. If you want to do a stand-up start, between your knees, and you start it. That's the only way to do a stand-up start. The only safe way to do a chainsaw, put your toe in, hold the top, and start it. So,
Where's your chaps?
now, on a chainsaw, it's got this bar. It's not just a bar. If the chainsaw does kick back, it hits your arm, and that's the instant brake and stops it. Chainsaws have just a little bit of play in it. Yes, this one's got an on switch or not?
Which? Yep.
Sensor on the ground. Bring chairs back, eh?
So, before I start,
Chaps on, chaps on, chaps
Chaps
on.
on, turbo.
Chaps on.
Chaps.
That's what our sisters are for.
see?
That's why you're
That's it.
No, the rest he said, where's my
That's
cap?
why I got on my toes and my fingers.
You had hair, didn't you,
I
Andy?
did have hair too. The chainsaw ripped them off.
got a part in it.
The chainsaw
That
ripped them off.
that wasn't a chainsaw that did that, it was married life.
I got a question for you.
Yes, Dinger.
Do they make chaps in women's sizes?
Yes, Dinger.
They do.
Small, medium, large, extra large. Still kept boots. I'm pretty well protected. If you don't want to wear the visor, safety glasses. Make sure your assistant's got safety glasses, because he's going to get sprayed by it too.
And I'm almost 7.
That's such a great age, but you enjoy your 6 years and 6 in school. Because you'll be 7 and
You're trying to build something you're standing so far away from. You're trying to fill up something, Morris. You've got to change or anything. That's a safety issue.
When you're cutting, going down, the log will jam on. When you're cutting big log, that would come down and plug the jam your blade in it. So don't hesitate to come underneath. hard bloody work for a few seconds. The biggest problem you have with bigger logs is the weight of them coming down. And normally if I'm carrying my full set of gear with me, I've got wedges in there that I drive in so that the log won't drop down. But even then, I still only go 3/4 way through a big log, then come up underneath. But that